but how much do you need? Well, luckily today we're joined by Dylan Bond, a registered investment advisor representative, a licensed insurance professional, and the owner of Bond Financial Services. And he's here to tell us what we need to think about before we retire. Dylan, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Good to be here, Seth.
First, let's talk general rules of thumb. What are some kind of indicators, things that you need to remember generally?
Okay, well, first and foremost, when it comes to saving for retirement, obviously the earlier you start, the more you'll have when you do retire. And as a general rule of thumb, I would say saving 10% of what you earn each year is a good place to start. If you can afford to save more, that's great. But as a rule of thumb, if you can save 10% of what you earn and start as soon as possible, you're going to have a lot better chance of being successful by the time you get to retirement.
And it's surprising the amount of money that people are actually going to need when they retire. It's more than you might think. Well, not you would know that.
You know, I mean, you see those commercials where a gazillion dollars and things like that. The fact of the matter is you can only control what you can control, and that is how much you put away, where you put it. Make sure you're not putting it in a place where you're going to pay excessive fees and expenses or take excessive risks. You want to make sure that what you're doing is in your best interest, not anybody else's.
And that's why it's great for people to go to someone like you or to you and have you go through it, because as you always say, everyone's investment portfolio is like a thumbprint. They're all different.
Yeah, they're all different. People have different risk tolerances. They have different lifestyles. And obviously, if you have somebody that can live off $1,000 a month, they're going to have a whole different financial plan than somebody that needs $10,000 a month.
That's very true.
So to me, the first step is sitting down with somebody with a pen, a pad, and a calculator, and just very simply getting to know them and getting to understand who they are, what they have, and what they're going to need, and their vision for retirement in plain English. And then from there, I can put all the numbers together, look at what they have, and give them somewhat of an easy to understand evaluation of what they're doing and if there's any gaps or bridges that they haven't thought of or considered.
Well, there are a lot of factors to consider. So today we're going to go over a few factors so everybody out there can kind of help to grasp it better on their own before they might sit down with someone like you. The first is retirement age. Right.
Well, when you're making a retirement plan, considering the time the age that you want to retire is going to be very important. There's Social Security to consider. Obviously, if you take retirement at 62 versus 66 and 3/4, you're going to get less Social Security. But what you also have to remember is that if you take it at 62, you're getting less, but you're going to get it for about 5 years longer. So these things have to be factored in, and what age you retire is ultimately going to determine how long you're going to have to finance your retirement going forward. And there are people out there today that plan to retire at 60 that are going to need to plan to finance retirement for 40 years or longer.
That's true. People are living a lot longer these days.
And if their number one fear is running out of money, and we have a volatile stock market and very low interest rates, they need to be aware of what they're doing and make sure that they are being as efficient as they possibly can be and doing things with sensible expectations in mind.
Well, the next one is kind of what we were touching on earlier. It's life expectancy. You need to be honest with yourself and
absolutely
look at your health and yourself and figure out how long you might live.
If you retire at 60 and you have a life expectancy of 65, it's different than if you retire at 65 and have a life expectancy of 95. And we're seeing more and more people live past 100 now. And if they're retiring at 60, 65, it's a long time that you need to be aware and make sure that you're financing the right retirement. So you have to take that into consideration. And to your point about being honest with yourself, what is your health like now? And we talk about this when I meet with people for the first time. Are there health issues? Has there been cancer? Has there been diabetes? What is your family history? Let's consider this so that we can make a plan that's going to fit your situation. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's going to happen, but we can take all of this into consideration. Say, if it does happen, we'll do this.
Exactly.
Okay.
So next thing we need to do is think about our health care needs and our lifestyle. Those kind of go hand in hand, kind of how much help we think we're going to need and that life we think that we're going to lead going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, lifestyle, bottom line is most people that I meet with, and we predominantly meet with people that are 50 and older, And when by the time we're meeting with them, their vision of retirement isn't living off of Social Security alone. They're going to need other sources of income. So we want to make sure that we consider where it's coming from, what are the tax liabilities. We want to make sure that if at all possible, we're not taking it from a volatile asset. So when markets are going up and down, you don't have to take money out while they're down. You want to make sure you have an income plan in place that's going to be efficient for you, and also make sure you have money on the sidelines just in case you need cash at a certain point for an emergency.
You always need to keep some liquid available for yourself.
Right.
The next one you need to keep into account is inflation, because money's always rising in value and commodities are always rising, so you need to project that out too.
Yes, you do. The problem I have with inflation right now is the inflation numbers we get year after year from the government don't include food, don't include fuel, and don't include medical expenses, which we
Like
use.
the 1, 2, and 3 things
Correct.
that we use.
And the reason they don't really is because if they did, inflation would be a lot higher than it is, and the adjustments to the Social Security payments for inflation would probably have already bankrupted the system. So again, they don't include those numbers, but when we talk to people and we're planning their retirement, we want to make sure that we are considering that, because if you look at healthcare, there's many different sources out there, but on average, it's growing faster than the national average inflation rate of 3%. It's growing closer to 5%. Take a look at the gas pumps.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, it's been a heck of a lot more than 3%. And then again, food itself has grown quite a bit over the years as far as compared to the 3% national average inflation rate. And those are things we're going to need 30, 40, or 50 years forward as we retire, depending on what age we do retire at.
And Dylan, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but the last thing we need to take into account is Social Security.
Yep. And again, like I said earlier, with Social Security, the biggest question I have is, should I take it at 62 or should I take it at 66? And the answer is, it depends. Do you need it at 62? What other sources of income do you have? Let's talk about it on a specific basis and decide whether or not we want to take it now or wait a little bit longer and get a little bit more out of it.
Well, Dylan, every Wednesday you're on our couch. Every Wednesday I learn a little bit more. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.
And you can visit bondfinancialservices.net for more information, or you can call 413-754-4747 and just let Dylan and his staff take the steps to secure your financial future.